Hello everyone, how are you guys? I hope you are always healthy and fine, because on this occasion, I will share information as well as tips about what you need to know about fishing tournament. Without further ado, let's start the discussion. The fishing tournament is a competition that is held once in 4 weeks, where players from every corner of the state are competing to fish various types of water species, divers, chest, and other items, to complete the species guidebook and become the greatest fisher in the entire state.
Nice.
In the fish book guide, you can find information on various types of sea creatures, divers, chests, and items, starting from their rarity, depth of habitat, and which season they appear in. In this guide, you will also get information about how far you have progressed in collecting each species, where the more species you can get, you will be able to get various kinds of prizes, such as chests full of gems, shards, and speed-up items, to permanent city skins and avatar frames.
Wow!
In the fishing tournament, there are 2 places where you can fish, namely ice fishing and frosty prospector, where this place requires a different entry ticket, where in ice fishing, you will use bait as an entry ticket, where 1 bait will be generated every 3 hours, up to a maximum of 10. And frosty prospector, where you will use the treasure chart as an entry ticket, and you can only get this item through Ice Fishing Club membership and purchasing the Fishing Pro set package. What differentiates these 2 places is the rarity of the species and items, where Frosty Prospector has better species and items than in ice fishing, and in Frosty Prospector you don't need to upgrade your fishing equipment because the level is automatically maximum, unlike in ice fishing which requires you to upgrade your kit level. And if you fish in the ice fishing zone, you must know about fishing kits, such as line, whose function is to increase the maximum depth limit that can be reached. Hook, which functions to increase the number of species and items that can be hauled in one pull. And sinker, whose function is to increases the starting depth range of fishing. Upgrading this kit requires a fishing token which you can get every time you finish fishing in any zone. And my suggestion is that you equalize the level of this kit, to make it easier for you to collect various types of species and items according to the depth of their habitat. And apart from the fishing kit, there are also special items which consist of a lantern, whose function is as a lighting tool when you reach a depth of 300 meters and below, an ocean scanner, as a radar for detecting rare species, a reel stabilizer, as a tool that prevents your fishing line so that it doesn't come back when you bump into several species of sea creatures while descending, and the horn of Poseidon, which you can use to summon certain fish for you to hook. And these tools are often used when you play in the Frosty Prospector zone, because there are lots of rare species and items in this zone. And the way to play itself is actually quite simple. All you need to do is reach the maximum depth according to your kit's level, and while you are descending, focus on paying attention to what species and items you want to hook, and try to avoid them while descending, and after reaching the maximum depth, you just need to target and hook the species and items that you were watching for during the descent. And before this video ends, I want to give you some tips. The first tip is to be aware and study the movements of the fish. During the descent, the most difficult thing to do is avoid colliding with fish or items. This is because there are some small and large fish that have sudden movements, such as small jumps that can hit your hook, so this makes you unable to reach the maximum depth, so it's very important to be aware of and remember little things like this. And the second tip, focus on targeting species, divers, chests and items that are only available in the current season. This is very crucial because if you fail to get certain species in this season, then you have to wait some more time before you can get them. So maximize your efforts so you can get this seasonal species. The third tip, focus on targeting species, divers, chests and items with higher rarity. The rarity of a species and item will be higher when you reach a depth of more than 400 meters. The rarity of a species or item greatly influences the number of fishing tokens and fishing points that you can get. Moreover, if you want to achieve a high ranking on the leaderboard, then fishing points must be your main focus. Fourth tip, use your special items wisely. A little advice for me regarding the use of special items. If you want to fish in the ice fishing zone, then I suggest you only use a reel stabilizer, and a lantern if you have reached a depth of more than 300 meters. And in addition, I suggest that you only use all of these items if you want to fish at the Frosty Prospector, because the effects of these special items will be much more optimal if used in this place. The fifth and final tip is, hone your fishing skills. The most important thing of all is your own skills. You can have lots of special items or treasure charts that you can use to fish in the best places, but if you don't have the skills, techniques, and strategies, then even the most special items won't be able to give you maximum benefits. Therefore, I suggest that you try to learn how to avoid and guess the movements of the fish in the trial stages. Conclusion: Fishing tournament is an event that I think is quite popular with many players in Whiteout survival. I even feel entertained playing this mode, only it's the same as in real life, where when you want to fish, you have to have good fishing equipment, along with skills, shrewdness and patience, which also applies to this event. So that's all my discussion regarding the fishing tournament event. If you have questions or additions regarding our previous discussion, feel free to submit them in the comments section, and we'll meet in the next Whiteout survival video. Bye.